This is the overreaction to Texas A&M versus Prarie View. So, guys, what all did we learn in this game? What all did we really learn? We learned this here, that Texas A&M has talent. They have a bunch of talent. What is very confusing to us, in which I say, and what we learned in this game is this here. Why are we 7-3? And I'm going to say this once again. Why are we 7-3 at the moment? It's because of a lot of things. Because of injury, a young offensive line, and just young talent, period, all over the field overall. What I do want to see is Baylor Cup. Good God, give me Baylor Cup already. Give me him. I just want to see him catch one ball. One ball. I want to see him get a touchdown, and then I'll be done. Okay? So, what else did we learn too, though? Is that our running back stable. Goodness gracious, man. Look here. If I was a running back recruit around the nation, man, I would love to play for Jimbo Fisher and Darryl Dickey on this football team. How the way we utilize running backs is ridiculous to me, man. Like, look, we seen LJ Johnson, we seen Amari Daniels, and we also seen I think it's Davion Hubbard, if I'm not mistaken. That's how deep our running back depth is. A-Chain, Isaiah Spiller, dangerous combo. So what you're looking at going forward of when Isaiah Spiller leaves is A-Chain and Amari Daniels / LJ Johnson in a three running back format. That is going to be very dangerous, man, because A-Chain is fast, Amari Daniels is fast. LJ Johnson reminds me of Isaiah Spiller so much. So much, man. That is crazy to me. So the final score of that game was 52-3. It could have been like 60 or 70-3. But I mean, it doesn't make any sense to score that many points. To me, it doesn't make any sense. But 52-3 was a dominant score. Now, of course, once again, this Prarie View, don't get me wrong. But Mustafa Muhammad, this wide receiver core is going to be dangerous. This is what's happening in the future of Texas A&M football. So the thing about this here is this here. When Kevin Sumlin was here, don't get me wrong, he recruited phenomenal classes. You know, the problem is that Kevin Sumlin never recruited at the level that Jimbo Fisher is doing. The problem is that we've never seen that level of talent that we're all seeing now. That is dangerous for the SEC in general going forward, man. So that's why I said those 3 losses, you guys have to look at these 3 losses. The 3 losses that we took. The 3 losses that we took is this here. The loss to Arkansas, which was the number 1 one, by 10 points. The loss to Mississippi State, 4 points. The loss to Ole Miss just recently, 10 points again. That's a complete compressed file of the losses that you took going into next season. Do you not know what that can do for this team in the future to say, hey, man, these are 3 losses that y'all took? You guys didn't lose by that much. I'm not trying to get into more victories or nothing like that, but all I'm saying is that, guys, these are the 3 losses that y'all took. You lost 2 of them by 10, 1 by 4. What does that say going forward? That we are way closer than what we have ever been in all of Texas A&M football so far as in the SEC. We're this close to gaining a SEC West title, man. I'm so serious when I tell y'all this. That's why I say, man, continue to support the team, man. Continue, because we have the right coach. I'm sorry. For anybody who's thinking that we don't got the right coach, that is a darn lie. We have the right coach going forward. It's just all about putting the pieces in place. Connor Wingman is coming in next year. How many times have you guys heard me say that? I've said that many times. Connor Wingman is coming next year. Zach Calzada, he's got his starting time. He's got his feel of the SEC. Regardless of how you guys feel about Zach, Zach is inexperienced quarterback. We have Haynes King. Haven't even much seen him for a full season. We only saw that man for 2 games. 1.5. We only saw him for 1.5 games. We haven't seen him yet. This quarterback room is going to be ridiculous. This running back room is more dominant than what I've ever seen a Texas A&M running back room be in the new era. In which, look, I'm an SEC Texas A&M football fan. All right, I didn't start really putting my eyes on Texas A&M and start being a fan until we came into the SEC. I wasn't around for the Big 12 days. I'm sorry. That's why when you guys hear me talk, I talk a little bit different than when you guys used to talk about other Big 12 days. It's because I can't tell you about anything that I don't know. All I can do is look up the history. I didn't see games like that from A&M when they were in the Big 12. This is the SEC Texas A&M. We are a more physical force than what we were in the Big 12, okay? That's why I tell you guys, it is a big, big difference from Big 12, SEC. This is what Texas and Oklahoma both will have to learn when they come over here. But that ain't about them right now. I'm giving you guys an example of this is the SEC, man. What that team looked like going up against Prarie View, that was a dominant SEC team. Once again, you guys are seeing the talent that Jimbo Fisher recruited. It's a lot of you guys that didn't even much know half of those guys that were on the field, probably. This is why I follow recruiting, and I just want you guys to follow also so you guys won't be so startled to when these guys get in the game. Once again, Musa Muhammad, he will be a threat at that wide receiver position. That's why, look, I don't have no problems with whatever wide receivers lead. What I'm seeing, well, what I've heard is this here, that Hezekiah Jones, he didn't participate in the Senior Bowl in the senior activities. I'm sorry. Miles Jones, he didn't participate in the senior activities. Brian George didn't participate in the senior activities. And it was one more other guy, I believe. But those three in particular, they all did not participate in the senior activities. Another one is Jalen Preston, because I believe he's a senior as well. He did not participate as well, I don't believe. But those guys aren't going anywhere. That's why I tell you, man, next year's defense will be even better. We looked at a darn good defense this year. Next year's defense, although we're losing a lot of people, man, that one is going to be even better. Mark my words on that. The run defense will be a whole lot better. Understand what I'm telling you guys, all right? Please understand what I'm telling you. They're going to be better. You guys just have to be prepared and ready for what's going to happen. All right, so in this game alone, I just told you guys that you guys seen Musa Muhammad. What did he do? 2 touchdowns in this game. You guys seen Amari Daniels. What did he do? 1 touchdown in this game. You guys seen L.J. Johnson. What did he do? Almost 100 yards in this game. He had about 60 yards, man. That's why I told you guys, man, just be patient. We got the talent. We have an absurd amount of talent. And that's going to solidify the dominance of this decade, okay? That's why in the podcast back, I said you have to be prepared for the next decade, all right? Alabama had that dominant run in that certain decade. This is a new decade, so now that this decade is looking for newer teams to step up, okay? So Alabama's still going to be here. You know, that's them. Once again, I'm not going to get off topic. We're not talking about them. I'm just giving you guys what to look for going forward. Because as of right now, A&M is recruiting with the likes of Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and others. That's always kind of pretty much in that top 5 to top 10 range, man. We're doing that. Now you guys are seeing it. It's just we have to see that more and more throughout next year. Next year, be looking for a whole new system, man. Do you guys not see how it looks when the offense runs faster? It's a totally different offense. And, you know, it has us scratching our head like, goodness gracious, look at it's a whole different offense. We have the receivers. We have a dynamic set of receivers. I know you guys said all year long, man, we need receivers to step up. We need receivers to step up. It's injuries. It's just, it was way too many injuries, but that's why you recruit at a higher level. All right, you recruit because of injuries. You know, you recruit because you're building a team, not just building for 1 year. You're building a team for the future and beyond. So just be prepared for that. Now we're on to LSU. We'll get ready for those guys. It's going to be a night game. That's our rival. So, hey, we're going to treat it like a rival, okay? For everybody who was out there, man, I know you guys had a pretty good time. Didn't know that it was gonna be that packed out there, but that was pretty nice for an 11 a.m. kickoff. And that game actually came on SEC Network Plus. So I know a lot of you guys missed the game, man. That was just watching from home. But if you were an ESPN Plus subscriber, you should have been able to watch the game, okay? But man, I hate that they didn't have it on TV. That's pretty strange there because I rarely see them not have those games on TV. But just know that it was a pretty dominant performance, okay? So what to look for in this next game is pretty much the same formula of what we just seen. Now we're going to go up against LSU. LSU is going to give us, look, LSU is going to give us everything that they have. All right, that's going to be last game. They're trying to make a bowl. I'm not sure of who they play on today, but that next game, man, LSU is going to give us everything that they got. All right, so please be ready for that. It's going to be a pretty good game, man. But, whoo, man, it's going to be ridiculous. So one of you guys said that Moose needs to start next game. Be prepared for Moose Muhammad to start next game because Demas is out for the season. He has a calf injury, and he will not be back for the remainder of the season. That is a confirmed source. He will not be back. So be looking for Moose Muhammad, Chapman, Anaya Smith, of course, Watermeyer. Be looking for those guys to make a dominant impact on last game, man, because it's going to be a lot of those guys last game, period, of the regular season. Now, when it gets to the bowl game, I'm hoping none of those guys opt out, but just be paying attention to that, all right? So we take down LSU, just like you say, yeah, man, we take down LSU. That's going to solidify a lot of things going forward because we're going to ultimately break the barrier on things that we hadn't done ever since we've been in the SEC. It's crazy to me that nobody talks about the accomplishments that we do have in which we broke the barrier on. Beat both Alabama teams at home. Never had been done before. Beat Missouri in Missouri. This is why we're in the SEC. I know we may have beat them in the Big 12, but this is why we're in the SEC. Hadn't been done before, so we've gotten them. The next barrier, in which is a very critical barrier, because this is the barrier that they hold us against. Can you win in Death Valley? Because like I say, that game, LSU is going to throw the entire kitchen sink at us. All right? Be prepared for stuff you never even seen before from LSU. If we can come in and dominate that game and lead with a score of 28-0, that solidifies everything that I need to know, people around the world needs to know, and these recruits. All right, so I put a stamp on this. I put a stamp on this hard, man. I heard all the flack of Jimbo Fisher didn't develop wide receivers. All I'm saying is this here. A lot of you guys slept on Evan Stewart, and I told you guys not to. Very early. A lot of you guys that left and said, oh, man, he's not interested. I don't think he's really interested in us. And all of a sudden, it was boom. Evan Stewart just pops out the blue. He's been at about 3 games now. Probably will come back during some time throughout, the early signing day period. The early signing week period, stuff like that. Be looking for Evan Stewart, man. I honestly believe that Evan will commit to Texas A&M. That's the #1 player in the state, if you guys do not know. I honestly believe that Evan Stewart will commit to Texas A&M, and that's going to wrap the bow on Jimbo Fisher's offense and what Jimbo Fisher is trying to do, why they brought him here, things of that nature, and so on. What did I tell you guys? A&M has never recruited the level of talent that they're getting now. Kevin Sumlin recruited some good classes. Don't get me wrong. They have never recruited at this level, consistently in the top 10. All right. Now you're finna look up, and A&M is about to make that push to where they're consistently in the top 5 going forward, as long as Jimbo Fisher's here. That's period, man, because these recruits now see that Texas A&M can handle the bigger games on a bigger stage. Okay, so a lot of people don't like what A&M is doing. A lot of people ain't gonna tell you that they respect what A&M is doing because they're 7-3, but a lot of people know that A&M is coming. All right, they have the talent now. That's what Jimbo Fisher requested a bigger contract for. It was for more money, don't get me wrong, but he wanted the 7 years so he can get everything that he needed to where it's no more excuses. It is no more excuses, none whatsoever. All right, so we're now here. We have the people. We have everything that we need. Yes, we beat Auburn, we beat Alabama, but we lose to Arkansas, we lose to Ole Miss, we lose to Mississippi State. Just like I said, I'm about to make it make sense now because you guys asked me to make it make sense. So the thing about Arkansas was that it was Zach Calzada's first big-time SEC game. Understand that the Arkansas game was a sold-out game for, to be honest with you, man, probably, I'm not going to say the first time, but probably the second time in which they sold it out to the limit to where you do not see that game get sold out like that in Dallas, okay? It was a ranked matchup, and Arkansas came in there ranked, man. They came in there ready. So that game was oversold, all right? And what I mean by oversold was that that game was packed out. Like, they packed out Jerry World to the fullest on both sides of the ball. A&M and Arkansas, they packed it out. It was Zach Calzada's first time being on a bigger stage like that. That was his first time. SEC experience, it's time to get it. The next game, we go up against Mississippi State. Zach lost his first home game against an SEC opponent. He was at home. It's things that you have to take when it's your first time starting like that SEC-wise, okay? Once again, I'm making it make sense. A lot of things went wrong in that game. The defense, we were getting up a lot of short passes. Will Rogers, he went down the field on us crazy, had a chance to win that game, could not prevail. All right, couldn't do it. So hey, we lose that game by 4 points. Get up to the Ole Miss game. This is Zach Calzada's first ever time going on the road in a true SEC road environment. And at that time, Ole Miss was pretty much like a top 10 team, to be honest with you. First ever time he's in the Grove, never experienced this before. They sold it out. It's a lot of things went wrong in that game because although we gave up all those yards, we still held Ole Miss to 13 points going into halftime. Could have came back, won that game. Once again, it's a big, big stage. Zach won against Alabama and Auburn because of the simple fact of this here, that home field advantage, man. He felt comfortable. Jimbo Fisher had a game plan for him. He executed the game plan, and it was no stopping that team. I promise to God on that one. It was no stopping that team. Against Auburn, it was no stopping that defense. That was that. It was no stopping that defense. Defense wanted to make that statement. And hey, they did what they had to do. Okay? So, like I say, man, I'm making it make sense. It may not be what you want to hear, but it is what it is. Okay? We lost those 3 games. It is what it is. Now, the next challenge is, can Zach go back on the road, under the lights, in Baton Rouge, and make history again? That's the biggest challenge left for Jimbo Fisher. He's never won in Baton Rouge. Never. Hell, the challenge coming in next year is, can Jimbo Fisher finally win one in Bryant-Denny Stadium against Alabama? Never have been done before. We haven't seen it. So that's why I say, man, next year, I'm not going to be mad when the entire college football world holds very, very high expectations for this team. The expectations going into next year, it's going to be extremely high. And I believe that this is what these kids want. This is what Jimbo Fisher wanted. And now it's time. It's time to step up to the challenge. So when you guys see me on this podcast next year, it's going to be a totally different thing, man. Totally different. Because they're going to be up there considered as one of the top 10 teams. For you guys thinking that they're not going to come in top 10 next year, you can go ahead and forget that. They will come in as one of the top 10 teams in the nation next year. All right? And it's basically sold off of talent alone. They will come in as one of the top 10 teams. They have no choice but to live up to those expectations. They're going to be high as you don't know what. All right? So just be looking for that, man. I'm already talking about next year, and we got LSU. But I'm just giving you guys something that is going to happen. So we all have to get used to Texas A&M being a bigger program than what we've ever seen them before. Seriously, man, we have to get used to that. This is what we want. We want Texas A&M to win a national title. In order to do that, you have to be considered amongst one of the elites. You got to be considered there. The reason why I say that is because Ohio State is held to high expectations. High. What do you guys see right now, man? What do you guys see? They absolutely dogged Michigan State. I mean, they flat out put everything on the table and told Michigan State, okay, come on, what you got? Michigan State didn't have anything. They don't. They were the number 7 team in the nation, and they made them look like a top 25 team, literally. So, look, all I'm saying is that when the talent clicks together, it's going to be dangerous. All right, so I just wanted you rest in peace to Sparty Nation. Goodness gracious, man, they just got completely obliviated. So if they come on next week talking about playoff rankings, well, Michigan is going to be pretty much all the way in front of them. All I can say to Sparty Nation is, man, you might well shut up about that. Shut up. You were non-competitive in this game. I mean, just absolutely got the socks blown off y'all. But I continue to say that Ohio State is an SEC team in the North. I know I've been very critical about Ohio State because of the simple fact of that I just feel like they have too much talent. I don't rave about them, and there's no reason why anybody else should rave about them because the Big Ten, they have no competition in the Big Ten. I'm sorry, they have none. So when it gets to their last game, that's ultimately what they're waiting on. That's the competition that they're waiting on. Penn State, okay, they're okay. The only one that I know that can go toe-to-toe with them, and I know it hadn't been like that over the past couple of years now, is Michigan. That's the only team that I know for sure on that side of the division that can go pound for pound with them. So we'll be looking for that on next week. Who's going to win that game? Because Spartan Nation is out. They're out. I mean, once again, they have nothing to say to nobody. They lost that game by 40-something points. All right, so man, it is what it is. But anywho, man, back to us. We just have to come out and do what we have to do next game. But this game here basically solidified who's all the backups. Who's going to come to next season ready. Stuff like that. So, like Terry Williams said, Michigan has the best chance to beat them. I've been saying that all season. I'm gonna go out on the record and say Michigan beats them next week. That's me. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people like to give Jim Harbaugh grief about his record against top 10 teams. But every year that he's went up against top 10 team, it has been Michigan State with Mark D'Antoni. It has been Penn State a couple of times, and it has mainly been Ohio State. Ohio State is always top 10 team when he faces them. So I'm sorry, man. Michigan hadn't recruited at the level that they're at. So what I'm asking from the Big Ten is this here. Man, y'all have to step up y'all recruiting game. I don't know what pitch y'all got to throw out there, but y'all got to come on with it. Because if not, Ohio State will forever dominate their conference. And it's nothing that you guys can do about that. They will forever dominate that. I mean, absolutely dominate it. So, hey, man, it is what it is. We will look forward to ending this season. Possibly with a 10-3 record. All right, so that's all I have for you guys. Once again, thank you all for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I love all of you guys. #giving.